Previously on City of Angels.
Emerald, this is
Dr. Lillian Price. I'm delighted to meet you, Emerald Jordan.
The lawyer. I've seen you on TV.
You gave up on God the day that John died.
I gave up believing there was a listening God up there who answers our prayers. I gave up believing in miracles.
You know, I still pray for you. I always hold the hope that one night there'll be a knock on my door and you'll be there.
I'm in love, Ben. I'm in love with Angels of Mercy. And I'm in love with you.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, imagine the devastation of waking up one morning and finding out that through no fault of your own, you are no longer physically capable of having sex. That is exactly what happened to my client, Amos Sotheby. A married man, a good citizen. When he trusted Angels of Mercy Medical Center and Dr. Ben Turner to take good and prudent care of him while he underwent a simple hernia repair procedure. And we will prove, without a shred of doubt, during what should have been routine, simple surgery, Dr. Ben Turner, an Angels of Mercy physician, administered a faulty anesthetic medical procedure to Mr. Sotheby that rendered him clinically impotent. Amos Sotheby has been robbed. His wife has been robbed. His marriage has been robbed. And the robbers have the nerve to call themselves Angels of Mercy.
Mr. Lincoln.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, while we are sympathetic to the plaintiff's condition, we will prove that the doctors at Angels of Mercy Medical Center did nothing medical or otherwise to cause or contribute to it. We are innocent, and we'll prove ourselves such. Thank you.
That's it.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
Call your first witness.
The plaintiff calls Amos Sotheby to the stand, Your Honor. Mr. Sotheby, how long have you and your wife been married?
10 good years, sir.
Now, pardon this intrusion into your privacy, Mr. Sotheby, but prior to your hernia operation at Angels of Mercy, did you ever experience any problems with your sexual performance?
No, sir. Up until that operation, everything was straight ahead. Almost every day I was able to satisfy my woman. Now it's a dead dog. What kind of man am I now? What kind of husband?
Have to turn and put a fork in us. We're done.
minding my own business, enjoying a concert. When Usher spray himself with water for you can see right through his clothes. All
all of these women, they rush upon the stage and knock me right into security. The next thing I know, I being pimp slapped and hauled over.
Looks like they hoed you over pretty good. Nothing we can't fix, though.
Put him in 1A. 330's male. Purvis Holmes thrown off an overpass. Multiple traumas. Head, chest, and upper extremities.
Wait! What you doing?
Ma'am, you have to wait outside.
What? Oh, man. Let the doctors do their work.
Dude, you ain't got to grab me. Go grab Lester, who's through it.
Lester is in custody. Now, come on, fix and dial. Come on.
198 over 62 Wesley. This guy's fading on us.
Give me an intubation tray. Hey, Weiss, I need a hand over here. What's the story? Head trauma, blown pupils, man thrown off an overpass. Push some mannitol, please.
No reflexes.
Hyperventilate him. And let's send some gases. He's got brain matter exposed.
GCS score 3 Wesley.
He needs a head CT stat. We'll start on for neuro. And if he's scrubbed, get Dr. Kelly too.
No neurologic function, brain matter exposed, looks like brain death.
Yeah, it looks that way. But they'll run the test in neuro. We'll work him up, keep him resuscitated, and maybe if we're lucky, he'll be an organ donor.
Check the blood type.
Yeah, it's a long shot, but keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Holmes' blood type, same as Malcolm Pearl.
HIV, hepatitis, and tox screens, all negative, and his liver chemistries are better than Wesley's.
Cerebral perfusion study showed no blood to the brain, same as Weiss.
We're starting seeing him right now as a second declaration because Dr. Kelly already wrote his note.
And the OPA woman's here already with some very good news. Nobody's ahead of Malcolm.
You didn't say anything to him or his parents.
Do we look like amateurs?
Not today.
I concur with Dr. Kelly on the diagnosis of cerebral death. You guys did a superb job, man. This is a great donor.
And we got a great recipient, too.
Okay, easy. Order Malcolm's pre-op labs, but just tell him that a routine blood test during his chemo.
With pleasure.
Can I borrow some of that exuberance from my neurosurgery residents?
It's only case specific. We've got a kid named Malcolm Pearl who's been waiting 3 years for liver transplant.
I thought the transplant program was shut down without Dan Prince.
No, Manny Alvarez can do the procedure, and the Cedars team's coming for the heart. It's a big day, Harold.
Best of luck.
Housekeeping to second floor, please. Housekeeping to second floor, please.
Dr. Turner? Dorothy Chang, Organ Procurement Coordinator.
Thanks for coming so quickly.
Hey, we appreciated the call. I'm afraid it was in vain, though.
Don't tell me that liver's going somewhere else. Malcolm Pearl's been trumped 3 times before.
No. This is the first day in over 2 years that there's no status 1 or 2A patients with blood type O ahead of him. Our problem is Mr. Holmes' wife won't sign off on the donation. I personally don't think the woman would donate an empty beer can.
Come on now. This kid has liver cancer. His time's running.
I understand how you feel, Dr. Turner, but she flat out refuses.
Would you mind if I have a word with her?
Be my guest.
Glenn. Holmes. I'm Dr. Turner. I'm here about your husband.
If you come asking for his parts like that Chinese lady, no way. Purvis got thrown off that overpass trying to keep Lester out of my money. He don't deserve getting chopped up and experimented on.
I don't have any intention of experimenting on your husband, Mrs. Holmes. We want to use his organs to help save other sick people who need them.
Yeah, that Chinese lady said the same thing. And all the time, Purvis's chest still pumping up and down. And she say his heart's still beating, but his brain is dead. I don't believe none of y'all.
Mrs. Holmes, there's a very sick boy in this hospital who will die without a new liver.
I don't know no boy.
He's got an inoperable liver cancer. He's been on the transplant list for a long time and hasn't had any luck with a donor. Until today.
So, Purvis got the liver this boy need?
That's right, ma'am. And don't you think a man who would die fighting for his wife would want to help save a young boy from dying?
What, that's supposed to make me cry? Boo-hoo, poor Purvis. You think it's my first day on the street? No, sir. No, sir. You want something, I got it. What you got for me?
Legally, I can't offer you anything for your husband's organs. They've got to be donated.
I I ain't donating nothing. I ain't had a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, and y'all expect me to give my husband up for free? I don't think so, Jack.
$126. And 55 cents. Sign first.
Hell no. Wait. What about that watch? You got a cigarette?
Dr. White, emergency staff. Dr. White, emergency staff.
Hey.
Hey!
I think we got a donor liver for Malcolm Perot.
Oh, Ben, that is great. And look at you, dancing on there. That's right.
It's a happy day. This goes to show good things happen down here every once in a while.
Are you harvesting? Are you harvesting tonight?
Yeah, I think so. What you doing?
Since I won't be seeing you tonight, I'll be taking my sugar now, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
That's wonderful news, Ben.
Never mess with the win streak.
The very time I thought I was lost, my dungeon shook and my chains fell off.
James Baldwin. I didn't read Baldwin until I was in college. You trying to show me up here, Malcolm?
Oh, no, it's from my English class. I gotta write an essay on a writer that I admire, so... Dad's pitching Baldwin, Thelonious wants Eldridge Cleaver.
The man speaks to me.
Good to see you, Ben.
You too.
Your face tells me this is more than just a social call, Ben.
The infuser port surgery we brought Malcolm in for is not going to happen anymore.
I don't understand. Malcolm's veins can't accept the IV anymore.
Yeah, just check it out, Doc. I'm so swollen up, this thing's choking me.
I'll feel better. Malcolm's not going to need the infuser port because hopefully he's not going to need any more chemotherapy. You've got a donor.
Malcolm's got a liver.
Barring anything unforeseen.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
We expect to harvest tonight, and if all goes well, we'll have him surgery before morning.
Wow, I knew when I woke up this was gonna be a really good day.
It's gonna be a great day, my man.
3 years coming. 3 years I've been waiting to say, we're on our way to getting you back on your feet and ready for Stanford. And you still got your scholarship.
School of Applied Science. Full ride.
I think we should just take a quiet moment of prayer and give thanks.
And, reflect just for a minute on the man whose misfortune gave me this liver.
That's a nice thought, Malcolm. I'll see you out throughout the day.
Thank you, Ben.
I think she's been waiting about 3 years to give you that hug.
It's the best part of the job. See if that gets replaced.
Father and ever-guiding spirit.
Yes.
We gather here to thank you for the good man who died, so that I might live on.
They're bringing in that prisoner from the courthouse.
You think it was a donut shop?
Victor Keene, BP 93 over 58. Pulse 118. Respiration 26.
Doc, you got a minute?
Excuse me, no press.
I'm an attorney. My name is Norman Lewis. That man is my client.
You're still leaving.
I'll be in the waiting room. The moment he gets admitted, I need to know.
Looks like he's got a liver condition.
Well, he's hypotensive and deeply jaundiced. County jail is sending over his records.
This guy's sicker than hell. Stat page hepatology. Call for an ICU bed right away.
I can't believe this, Lillian. This is insane.
Apparently, this Keene has chronic hepatitis of unknown etiology. Pretty well compensated until he passed out in court this morning. He's been on a transplant list in San Diego for about 16 months, and he's blood type O.
So let him get in line. He's no more than a status 3.
He's in the medical ICU with advanced hepatic encephalopathy, Ben. He's a status 2A. Malcolm's a 2B.
He's on the list in San Diego. Transfer him to San Diego.
He's too sick, and the donor liver would go with him anyway. You know that.
Lillian, I will not stand by and watch Malcolm Pro lose this liver to a man who was raped and killed, a nun.
I'm on your side, Ben, as is every member of the committee. We're all on the same page.
Great. Then call a committee meeting right now. Let's make an official ruling. Let's take care of this.
It's not going to be that simple. Keene has a public defender who's pretty aggressive.
But I'm hearing he's using an insanity defense, which is grounds for immediate psychiatric disqualification.
Legally? I don't know if that's true.
It's in the OPA guidelines. It's the practice of every transplant hospital in the world.
Ben, please. This is a high-profile situation. We have to play this by the book.
Lillian, it's clear here what the right thing is to do.
The ethics committee will meet with Keene's lawyer when Ron Harris gets back from court.
Page me when it's time.
Complications? You mean something medical?
No. Medically, everything's fine. It's an administrative twist, that's all. But we're gonna get it worked out.
Does it have anything to do with that killer? We heard on the TV that he was here with liver failure.
He's the same blood type as Malcolm. He's on the list as well.
But he's a criminal. He's a killer.
Should I be worried, Dr. Turner?
I think it's gonna be okay.
All right, then. Hey, Thelonious, you want to play some more Tomb Raider?
I think I'm all Tomb Raidered out for the time being.
You guys really need to quit stressing. Dr. Ben Turner's on the case. Everything's gonna be fine.
Show me how this works.
That's your direction.
Dr. Butler, this procedure which you're about to describe is the definitive test for impotence. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. NPT, which is an acronym for nocturnal penile tumescence.
And how does nocturnal penile tumescence work?
Well, the subject retires to bed with 2 strain gauges hooked around his penis. Now, in normal REM sleep, he should experience 5 to 7 erections per night, each one registering like the peak shown here.
And what was the result of Mr. Sotheby's test?
Nothing. 0 erections.
And your expert medical conclusion regarding Mr. Sotheby's sexual function at the time of this test?
Absolutely, totally impotent.
Thank you, Doctor. Nothing further.
Dr. Butler, isn't it correct that there are many reasons why a patient could be entirely normal and yet have no erections during the NPT test?
Well, I wouldn't say there are many reasons, but there are some.
Could you name them?
Inability to tolerate the strain gauge on the penis, malfunction of the gauge itself, failure to enter into REM sleep.
Any one of which could have negatively affected Mr. Sotheby's NPT results. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Redirect, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Dr. Butler, what are some major causes of impotence?
Certain medications, vascular diseases, diabetes, major pelvic surgery.
None of which apply to Mr. Sotheby?
Correct.
What about spinal cord injury?
Definitely.
Including the type that might be caused by an anesthetic needle puncturing the spinal cord?
Absolutely, I would say yes.
Thank you, Doctor. Nothing further.
Normally, we make love 5 or 6 times a week. Amos was a very enthusiastic lover.
And since the hernia operation?
We don't make love at all.
Has this changed the nature of your relationship?
Some folks take walks, go to movies. We made love, but no more. We fight now, and sometimes I think that we're near to busting up. It's like we lost our glue, so to speak.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Your marriage sounds almost too good to be true, Mrs. Sotheby. Before his hernia repair, didn't you and Mr. Sotheby ever fight at all?
Well, sure we did, but it never lasted long, and when we made up, we made out. True. Making up was so good, sometimes I'd pick a fight for nothing.
Hasn't there ever been any instance of strain in the relationship?
No, sir.
To your knowledge, has your husband ever been unfaithful?
We made sure that neither of us had the need to go looking.
And if you had such knowledge, Mrs. Sotheby, what would you do?
Oh, I'd get out my scissors, and he knows it.
Did your husband attend the Innovations in Concrete convention in Las Vegas in January of this year?
Yes.
Did you go with him?
No, I'm not big on Vegas.
Now, according to your testimony, you said that your husband is used to sex 5 or 6 times a week average. Now, he was alone in Las Vegas for a week. Did the thought he might possibly stray across your mind when you were apart?
No, sir. It never did.
That convention was in January of this year, and your husband's surgery was in February, isn't that right?
Look, if you're saying that Amos screwed around in Vegas and lost his interest for me, you are dead wrong.
I didn't say that, ma'am. You did. No further questions, Your Honor.
When he came back, we made love 50 times, right up to the day he went to that damn butcher shop you call a hospital.
Please, Mrs.
Y'all
Sotheby.
robbed me. Y'all's hospital took my husband away from me and burned my marriage.
Mrs. Sotheby, you will compose yourself or be removed from this court.
Move to strike, Your Honor.
Mrs. Sotheby's last statement will be stricken from the record. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please disregard that last statement.
The plaintiff rests, Your Honor.
Recess for lunch.
The only thing deader than Amos Sotheby's Johnson right now is our case. I'm due at the hospital.
This committee has no legal grounds to deny Victor Keene that liver, and you know it.
Mr. Lewis, there are standard ethical guidelines throughout the medical profession which we've used in making our decision.
Such as?
Post-surgery quality of life, a likelihood of survival.
Why would either of those criteria lean away from my client?
Probably because he's going to be executed for rape and murder.
Oh, I guess I can't read the future like you can, Doctor. All I see is a man on trial.
Who confessed to the crime.
In this country, that doesn't make you a killer or a rapist.
Here we go.
Until a jury convicts. And so far, he's not convicted of anything. Right now, all he is an innocent man in need of a liver transplant.
If he's found innocent, it's by reason of insanity, which automatically disqualifies him from the list on psychological grounds.
Insanity is a legal defense, Doctor, not a professional evaluation.
So he's only crazy when it suits you? I don't think so, Mr. Lewis. This committee has made its decision, and we have a transplant to perform.
Pardon me. Don't stop. I got stuck in court.
You put that liver in anyone but Victor Keene, and the next piece of paper you'll be looking at is a $100 million lawsuit.
What's that?
A restraining order to prevent Purvis Holmes' liver from being transferred into Malcolm Pearl.
And I've got an appointment in 1 hour for a court order to make sure that liver goes to my client. Rich and Receivers, Mr. Shepard. I assume you know the address.
We'll be there, Mr. Lewis, and we'll be ready.
Dr. Turner, approximately how many hours do we have before this donor liver is no longer viable?
We should harvest the liver within 6 hours, or sooner if at all possible. The donor's heart could start beating at any moment.
Then the clock is ticking, folks. Mr. Lewis, your argument first.
Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, there are more people who need liver transplants than there are liver donors. In response to this, the United Network for Organ Sharing assigns patients a status grade according to the severity of their condition to determine who goes first when an organ becomes available. This is a policy that hospitals must rigidly follow or risk losing their eligibility for organs. My client, Victor Keene, has been on the liver transplant list for the past 16 months. As of this morning, his condition took a drastic turn for the worse, and he presently requires intensive care. This misfortune bumped him from a status 3 to a status 2A. Malcolm Pearl is a status 2B. A person with status 2A is always ahead of a person with status 2B. The liver belongs to Victor Keene.
Mr. Shepard?
Malcolm Pearl's been on the liver transplant list for 3 years, Your Honor. He's never been a substance abuser. He's not suicidal. He is not psychotic. He does not fall into any of the categories that would exclude him from eligibility for organ transplantation. Victor Keene is presently on trial for the rape and murder of a Carmelite nun. He does not deny the crime. His defense in this case is innocence by reason of insanity. The OPA guidelines determine that insane people are ineligible for organ transplantation because of their inability to maintain the rigorous post-transplant medical regimen necessary to maintain the transplanted organ. For this reason, and regardless of his status number, we contend that Victor Keene has rendered himself ineligible for organ transplantation of any kind, and that the liver should go to Malcolm Pearl.
Your Honor, regardless of how I choose to defend my client, he is not insane until he is adjudicated insane. In fact, I have a copy of the psychiatric report ordered on my client by the district attorney, which states, in their expert's opinion, that my client is in fact completely sane.
I don't suppose the irony is lost on you that your argument for your client's sanity can now be used against him in his murder case.
If he doesn't get this transplant, it's a moot point, isn't it? But if he does, and he survives, a year from now, I'll get him a new trial, a new jury. Time will have passed, witnesses will have forgotten what they saw, and it is a very real possibility that if Victor Keene gets this liver, he could come out of this a free, healthy man.
Well, maybe you're asking Judge Feretsky to lay a death sentence on an innocent boy, to put a healthy man on death row. Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm due to testify in Judge Aguilar's courtroom.
It's all right, Dr. Turner. I think I've heard enough. Give me an hour. I'll render my decision.
Let's see.
How many hernia repairs have you performed, Dr. Turner?
At least 300 of a type similar to Mr. Sotheby's.
And you are unaware of impotence as a complication of a single one of them?
Of these or any others. Impotence cannot be a complication of a hernia repair. It's not possible.
And why not, Dr. Turner?
The nerves that control erectile function are a good 4 inches deeper than the vicinity of a hernia. It's akin to picking your nose and injuring your brain.
Thank you, Dr. Turner. No further questions.
So, Dr. Turner, if the nerves that control erectile function are nowhere near the hernia, where are they exactly?
On the second, third, and fourth sacral roots.
Doctor, are you an anesthesiologist?
I'm a general surgeon.
Permission to approach, Your Honor? Could you identify this document for us, please?
It's the anesthesia record from Mr. Sotheby's operation.
Could you read for us, please, the notation made by the anesthesia resident, time 9:20 a.m.?
Multiple attempts at spinal puncture unsuccessful. Dr. Gill, unavailable. Spinal puncture then performed by Dr. Turner.
Multiple attempts at spinal puncture unsuccessful. Spinal puncture then performed by Dr. Turner. So, the anesthesia resident made several punctures, and then you finished the job. Is that correct?
Yes. Under the circumstances, my helping out is not unusual.
But multiple spinal punctures, Doctor? And where did you say those nerves were again?
There's no way a spinal injection can cause impotence as an isolated event.
Well, I don't speak medicalese, Doctor, but the spinal cord under attack by a sharp needle not once but multiple times sure sounds to me like, what was that term Dr. Butler used? A spinal injury. Pardon us, Doctor, are we keeping you from something more important?
Your Honor, I'm doing Judge Feretsky's chambers.
Anything further, Mr. Jordan?
Nothing from me, Your Honor.
Then, due to the lateness of the hour...
Your Honor, we'd like the opportunity to redirect. The jury shouldn't sit overnight with just one side to ponder.
Tomorrow, Mr. Lincoln. Recess until 10 a.m.
Mr. Lewis argues that though he's pleading his client insane for purposes of a murder trial, with regards to these proceedings, Mr. Keene is in fact not insane, but fully capable of adhering to any medical regimen which would ensure his health after a transplant. Mr. Shepard and you others heard from today argue that no matter the venue or legal tack due to Mr. Keene's self-professed insanity, he's ineligible for transplant, according to a stipulation commonly laid down by transplant centers. Also, the argument was made on moral and ethical grounds that the liver would be better served in the body of a young man destined for a wonderful future than in the body of Mr. Keene, destined for life behind bars, possibly, or the death sentence. And on the moral and ethical merits, there is no question Malcolm Pearl deserves this liver. On the other hand, when weighed against acuteness of illness and the California Welfare and Institutions Code regarding the rights and treatment of insane persons, which states that by Constitution, persons with mental illness have the same legal rights as all other persons, the balance begins to sway. And therefore, it's with a heavy heart that I find in favor of and award the donor liver to Victor Keene.
We were so close.
I'm sorry I let you down. I swear to you, if there was anything in
You did your best, Ben. We know that.
You know, nothing's really changed, Dr. Turner. I'm still the same kid I was 2 hours ago. Only now, instead of getting a new liver tonight, I think I'm probably just gonna sit up and watch TV.
Malcolm.
No. Dr. Turner, if it had been for me, I know I would have gotten it. God works with me like that. You know, God gave me my dad, my mom, and you too. Isn't that right, Father Carrillo? So if a new liver's ever in the math for me, I know I'll get that too. Here. Read this.
The very time I thought I was lost, my dungeon shook and my chains fell off.
My dungeon's gonna shake, Dr. Turner. But either way, I'm not afraid.
What you do, you can do something. Sotheby's gonna own you and me, and we will not be in the big house. You're the attorney, you think of something. Let me call you back.
Okay, think that ought to take care of the cut, ma'am?
Good, because stitches are bad for business.
Oh, yeah, you corporate types do keep a clean image.
Yeah, ha. Make fun of a working girl.
I'll get an ice pack for that bruise.
Thanks, Grace.
You sweet on her?
Maybe.
She's sweet on you.
Oh, yeah?
I could tell.
Oh, yeah?
I know my business.
Guess you do. Sit tight.
How do you do? Ron Harris, CEO of this hospital. What's your name?
Honey, Suckle.
What happened to you tonight, Miss Suckle?
My Concorde crashed into my polo field. What's it to you?
I run this hospital. I like to know what troubles come through my doors.
I had a little disagreement with a John.
Well, I hope you weren't too badly injured in the fracas.
Honey, he didn't get nowhere near my fracas.
Listen, when you're done here, come see me. East Wing, room 11122. 11122. You won't be sorry. Lincoln, what are you doing right now? Well, put down your damn 3 fingers of scotch and get over here with all your files on the Sotheby case. Profiles, transcripts, depositions, everything you know about the man down to his birthmark. And have him here within an hour. Miss Suckle, come in. Sit down, please.
Nice place. Kind of stuffy, though.
I need to know your going rates.
I like that bald head.
Your rates, please.
All right, Mr. Business. I got a sliding scale. More if, less if. But I can see looking at you, you ain't a less if, so don't even try to...
What would it cost for at least 4 hours this evening, 2 hours tomorrow morning?
Ooh, you big bald tiger man.
How much?
$1,000.
Deal. Oh, no. Let's button this.
Oh, yo. Three-way gonna cost you an extra $500.
How's it going, Dr. Turner?
You heard about Malcolm?
Yeah. The sullen voice of the law has spoken.
I guess it has, Thelonious.
Are you as frustrated and furious as I am?
Yeah, I think I am.
Then why not talk back?
Meaning what?
Well, meaning we allow this great institution to do what it does best.
Which is what, Thelonious?
We're real good at medicine, Dr. Turner, but what we do best is we scramble eggs. You know, we shuffle a deck. We mix things up.
Is that Malcolm Pearl's wristband?
And on this side, it's replacement.
Victor Keene.
Hey, what's in the name, Doc? I fixed that to Malcolm's wrist. Same blood type, same workup. I transport him down to the OR with Victor Keene's chart, at which point Malcolm Pearl is Victor Keene. At least long enough for him to get himself a new liver.
Believe me, Thelonious. I've been sitting here thinking up the same kind of schemes. But what I also keep thinking about is something that Victor Keene's lawyer said. He said that the law exists to prevent us from violating a man's civil rights just because it makes us feel better.
Well, maybe there's nothing wrong with that, Doc. Especially in this case.
If I ever need a transplant, I hope I have you looking out for me.
So you sure then? There's a lot more where these came from.
Yeah, man, I'm sure. You are too. Or you wouldn't have come here.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go get Malcolm another band then.
It's a good idea. Night, Thelonious.
Night, Dr. Turner.
We cannot redirect at present as Dr. Turner's in surgery. Instead, the defense calls Miss Jonita Davis.
Objection, Your Honor. We don't have a Miss Jonita Davis on our witness list.
Your Honor, she just presented late last night.
Sidebar?
Approach.
Your Honor, it's not my problem when she presented. If she's not on the witness list, she's not able to testify.
All due respect to my colleague, Your Honor, the defense is allowed to call a surprise witness for the purpose of impeachment.
Impeachment in what regard?
This woman will prove that the plaintiff's lying and that his claim's totally false.
Your Honor, if this is going where I think it's going, this is just another uncooperated, unreliable he said, she said attempt to discredit my client.
Which contention you'll have an opportunity to prove in cross, Counselor. I'll allow the witness. Step back.
The defense calls Miss Janita Davis. What is your profession, Miss Davis?
I'm a sexual entertainment specialist.
In other words, you're a prostitute. Is that correct? You have sex for money.
That's it.
Do you know Mr. Amos Sotheby?
Mm-hmm. He's a frequent client. Hi, baby.
What's she talking about?
She's lying.
Order.
Miss Davis, by saying that he's a client, do you mean that Mr. Sotheby paid you to have sex with him?
You got it.
When was the last sexual encounter?
A week ago.
And was Mr. Sotheby's member erect when you had sex with him?
At attention and ready to salute.
She is lying, baby, I swear. Did Mr. Sotheby ever mention to you any reasons why he might need the services of a prostitute?
Mm-hmm. Said his wife was kind of piggy. Said the way that back fat jiggled under her arms was making him seasick. What? Lady, that's him talking, not me.
Direct your comments to the court.
Then he said she didn't like the looks of him naked. He got this hairy mole birthmark on his right ass cheek that sits there in the shape of Florida.
She knows about Florida?
She the one lying, baby.
Oh, yeah, she lied. How'd she know about your ass cheek?
Compose yourself. Compose yourself, Mrs. Sotheby.
He also said she couldn't give him the kind of love he needed because he got a condition, vita or something.
Vitiligo.
That's it. He all spotty down below like a pinto horse. Etta don't like it.
I had enough of this. Etta, please. No, I got into this thing for you. You talk about we gonna make all this money, saying we gonna move to Miami. Get off of me. Well, I wish to hell you really was impotent, so I wouldn't have to put up with your heavy, sweaty ass always begging me. Etta, you
Bailiff, remove her from my court.
Oh, let me out. Let me go. Don't come home tonight. I want to kick your ass.
Your Honor.
No, come on.
Move to dismiss.
So ordered. Case dismissed.
How'd the harvest go?
Went off without a hitch. Keen's in the ICU. Vitals are stable.
I just passed Ron Harris on his way back from court. We won the Sotheby case.
Really? I thought it was in the toilet.
It was. But Harris couldn't help gloating to me how he paid a hooker to testify that she'd been having sex with Sotheby since the surgery. Wife exploded. Whole sham fell apart.
What a country. Ron Harris wins a lawsuit by paying a whore to commit perjury, and we follow the letter of the law only to watch an innocent boy lose out to a murderer. Breaks your heart.
Amen to that.
Father, you look exhausted.
I've been up all night.
Wrestling your faith?
Trying to hold on to it in the dark.
Still wearing that collar?
If Malcolm Pearl could look death in the face and still find room in his heart to believe, shame on me if I couldn't. Which doesn't mean I don't still feel terrible. Down to my soul.